how's it going, guys? This is the episode number 2 for the MMM podcast. I am your host, Asuncion Guzman II, and I got with me Minnie. Well, I know her by Minnie. How do you pronounce your name, or what do you like to go by?
Minnie.
Minnie, there you go.
Minnie.
All right. Miss Minnie, I've known her for a while. I've gone to her shop a couple of times for years. And, you know, getting to know her, getting to really understand a lot of what she's gone through in business and all that good stuff. However, I invited her to come through the podcast so that way she can give you guys, you know, a little bit of her experience, a little bit of her rundown as being an entrepreneur in this day and age. And I'll let her introduce, what is the name of your business? How do you pronounce it again? Ave?
It's Ave Espiritual Yerberia.
Ave Espiritual Yerberia. Where's the address? Where's it located at?
We're at 700 East University Drive here in Edinburgh. Woo-hoo.
There you go. Edinburgh, Texas. So it's right next to the 107, right? It's on 107?
Yes, it's on, we're located on 107, which is also known as University Drive, and 17th Street. Right in there in the corner. You can't miss us.
There you go. They have a big, beautiful mural painting. I love that mural painting, by the way.
Oh,
when did you guys get that done?
Like a year ago or so. It's a moon. It's a moon, and it's supposed to bring all the light and glory that the moon provides for us. So when you go there, you're supposed to get re-energized with energy.
I love that.
You know, keep being awesome.
I love that. And you are also the founder of Angels of Advocacy, correct?
Yes.
Angels of Advocacy. What got you going in? First and foremost, how did you start off your video? How did that become an idea?
Well, that's a spiritual calling.
Mm-hmm.
That's a spiritual calling because, you know, that was not my path in life. My path was to be a teacher.
Okay.
Because, you know, I wanted to be like a librarian eventually. But, you know, teaching was my thing, my drive. And then one way or another, I ended up in the Yerberia. There was an opportunity. I went for it. And I started the business, and I've been there 28 years.
28 years.
28
wow.
years already.
And it's all been there in the same location? Or did you guys start
Well, we were in a previous location, but we've been mostly there.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, like for 1 year we were in a previous location, but it was a little bit too small. So as soon as this was available, it just was meant to be. It was calling me.
There you go.
It was calling me, so now we're there.
I love it. That's awesome. And you're born and raised Valley Girl, RGV.
Yes.
Awesome. I love it.
PSJ. PSJ. But Edinburgh called us over. So it was like, now we're in Edinburgh and we're still in Edinburgh.
I love that. Awesome. And so 28 years in business, man, that's a really big accomplishment actually. You know, not that many people, you know, not even in, like by their 5th year, a lot of good percentages of entrepreneurs, like by the 5th year, they'll, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What keeps you going? What is it that keeps your drive? What is the purpose of it? Like, let's say every morning you wake up, because I know, like for me, I wake up and man, I just don't want to even get up out of my bed. But I gotta move, right? I got a message to give, right? What is your purpose? What would you say your purpose would be? Like every morning that you wake up, you gotta go and you gotta open up the doors to that business. What is it that comes in your mind? Like the drive.
It's the spirit that pulls me up. Like we have something to do, people to help, the energy to project forward because we're a community, and the more we're at peace and we start healing each other, and it starts one person at a time, because this is not a business, it's a mission to heal the community, to bring us together, because everybody's divided and there's division, there is anxiety, depression, sorrow, everybody feels alone, fear, so it's all the negatives. So what I am doing and the mission is that the spirit wants to project the energy, that's why it's called Ave Espiritual, because through the Holy Spirit, through the energy, the power, the light, we're projecting that light to the community so people can start healing one person at a time. That's why we do offer free cleansings. And what the cleansing does is that it releases the heaviness, the negativity, the heat from the body that starts making you to ache and feel very sick and depressed. And you have a lot of like mixed ideas in your head. So when
Like scatterbrain type deal.
yes, and so when I do the cleansing and that is released, what happens is that the people start opening up the third eye, getting clarity, getting excited, getting going, and the more people that start feeling that way, the better the community, the better the connection, and we're all connected.
Yeah.
So whatever comes, and that's what we want. We want peace in your heart and soul. Peace in your heart and soul.
I love that. I am a strong believer in the law of attraction is what they call it, right? And I do believe the community does need more of that. The community needs more of the light. The community needs more of the people being one and the same, one and together. I think the best way, and essentially, especially as an entrepreneur, right? Starting your entrepreneurial journey, right? The goal should always be to help people, right? You help people. You become more of what you are, especially when you're able to help out others. And I think that that's a beautiful purpose. I think that's awesome. So you had said something right now that actually, really takes me, really hits home. Depression. Oh man. A little bit about what I've gone through with depression. I started experiencing depression when I was mid-20s, maybe like 25, 26. And then I separated from my spouse. And then they hit me even harder. But there's a lot of people that, when they fall into depression, they stay stuck. A lot of people stay stuck. And I talk about it a lot, right? I go live and I talk about like how mindset is everything, right? And I believe that that is a big component to attracting what you want in this life. Because opportunities come to us never equal. Opportunities can come to you up, right, left, and down, side to side, whatever the case may be, an opportunity is there. However, if your mindset is not in the mindset of, abundance, mindset of growth, mindset of, attracting positivity, you're going to miss every opportunity that comes to you and stay stuck within that depression. What advice would you give for somebody who's going through something right now, like a mental battle? Would you have anything to say for that, for depression?
Well, first, you're gonna have to hit rock bottom because you have to go through the emotion and the feeling of whatever is getting to you or whatever is producing that. Because you have to go through the motions and maybe you have to figure out what exactly is dragging you under so that once you're there, you're gonna be able to realize like this is not the place that I want to be. I don't want to be in darkness. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be away from the world. And that's gonna, once you realize and actually instead of running away from it, you have to actually face your fear because that depression is sometimes avoidance. You're avoiding something. You don't want to face certain things, so you kind of like holding it. You don't want to talk about it. But once you hit that place and you start talking about it and actually voicing it, it's gonna lose power. So it's no longer gonna be scary because once you voice your fears, it loses the power over you. And that's gonna help you slowly start taking steps to the light to start getting better and start, making headway into conquering the depression. I mean, you're gonna have your episodes where we're human. We're human. But the number one thing is that we need to always try to be productive, get going, because the more you get going, the more you're gonna start leaving those emotions, thoughts, and whatever drags you under, you're gonna start leaving them behind. And the bigger the distance where you're moving forward, the better you're gonna start getting in, bringing in the light so you can start getting into a positive direction and you start already feeling yourself, and you're gonna find something that you're gonna be able to look forward to. But it's something that you have to get into the habit of doing to push you forward.
I like that. Momentum. Speaking of momentum.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's very important to speak your fears, because we always hold our fears because we don't want anybody to know, we don't want anybody to hear, we don't want anybody to find out. But the thing is that it's okay, we're human. We're gonna do the dumbest things possible, but you don't have to hide about it, one way or another, speak about it. That's why I like to do the cleansings, because the cleansings help.
Yes.
They open up your third eyes, and at the same time, you get validation. You get validated, so that you can understand exactly what's triggering you or what's like setting you into that direction. So you get validated, and it's like, yes, there is something happening. So through the cleansings that comes out, you're able to speak, and that's gonna help you start the motion of healing.
I like that.
Because you have to heal. And once you heal, the light starts coming in, and then before you know it, now you start seeing the light.
It's true. Everybody has something to heal. And a lot of people avoid it. It's weird because I was talking about that the other day with Miss Murray, right? And we were talking about how people tend to avoid a lot of their or needs to be healed through drugs, alcoholism, whatever their vice is what they call the vice, right? And that certain vice is what kind of keeps them in this box, right? They have something that they need to face on, right? That fear that you're talking about. And I get emotional a little bit. I'm getting like goosebumps right now because I understand it. Like it's you can't let that fear dictate you. You can't let fear dictate you in any way, shape, or form. If you have something that needs to be healed, if you have something that needs to be looked at, whatever the case may be, advise, I would advise people to just talk about it, man. It helps. It helps to open up. It helps to talk about it. It helps to really face that fear head on. And that's one of the most scary things that you can do. I know for a fact, especially our culture, right? Like depression doesn't exist, or you're a man, like suck it up.
That's loco.
That was local. There you go.
Loco.
Yeah. And things like, especially depression in itself, you can't avoid that. And I remember this one time, I had a client tell me, she was a counselor, right? And I had told her, hey, can you counsel me, right? So she's like, it's against the rules for me to counsel somebody I know, right? So there's some rules that they have. But she had told me, well, what's wrong? She still listened and heard me out, right? And then I had told her, man, I'm going through depression really bad. Like, it was bad, like to the point where like I wanted to like no longer exist, right? And she kind of like told me, well, the way you overcome depression, because I kind of told her about like medicine, should I take antidepressants and whatnot? And no, like you don't fight it that way. You fight it literally, and there's gonna probably be people that are gonna say, you have to take your medicines. I guess in most cases, I don't know, we're not professionals. In no way, shape, or form is this professional advice. However, this is opinions of what we've been through.
Yeah.
And the way she had told me was that the way you battle it is you face it head on. It's like the story of the buffalo, right? This one actually comes from another person that had told me the story of the buffalo. A life coach I had for a while. And she had told me the story of the buffalo. The buffalo see a storm coming, right? They're in the prairie. I don't know how to pronounce that. But they're there, right? And they see a storm coming. Well, all the other animals go away from the storm. The buffalo, they go towards the storm. Because they know if they walk towards the storm, it's just going to affect them for a little bit. And then it's going to pass. So that's how I picture anybody going through something that you need to heal. You got to go through that storm. You got to walk through the fire. You got to say, hey, you know what? I don't want to feel like this anymore. This is what needs to be accomplished. And then just move on.
And guess what?
Yes.
I'm the storm. I'm the storm that's here to change your life for the positive.
Like that.
Woo!
I like that.
So you see me coming, don't run away from me. Is that your spirit wants you to connect with my spirit so that you can be able to heal. So that's the whole point. I'm not concerned about the money. I'm not here to sell you anything or do anything like that. I'm here so that we can be able to heal. The money will take care of itself or whatever, I mean, yes, the bills have to get paid, this and that, whatever.
Yes.
I mean, that's the notion besides the business, but the spirituality is a lot more important, and it's what drives me, it's what gets me going, and that's why I'm here, because whoop, whoop, whoop. We have to make people's lives better. And one of the things that I need your help with is we need to, well, besides the financials, the bookkeeping and all that stuff, because you're amazing at that.
Thank you.
We need to start doing the full moon rituals so we can start, learning how to self-heal.
I like that.
I mean, because it's not like therapy, it's more like a release of energy in a group environment where united, the way community is supposed to work, you're able to give and take energy so that you can overcome. And then when you do it, you come out feeling very empowered, very relieved, and overall amazing.
I love that. Where do you learn all this stuff from?
It's a spirit. I don't read books.
No, you just follow,
I don't read
like
books.
follow your intuition.
No, but it's because the knowledge is in you. The knowledge is already in the person. The knowledge is in you. The thing is that we've been corrupted by the system, suppressed. Nobody wants you to bring out your talents, so they want to suppress you so you can be one of the masses. You can fit the little box that they assigned for you. So once you forget about that corruption, and you start focusing on you, and then you start looking inside of you, find that light, bring it out, then you're gonna understand. Your purpose in life was to be a good person and be happy. That's it. Society's corruption has forced you to think like, hey, you're not going to be happy unless you make this much money. You're not going to be happy unless you have this car or that type of clothing or this type of house or that type of, so you're never happy because you're always trying to get to that level of expectation that they want for you. And when does it end? So strip it off yourself. Be a medicine.
Yeah.
and just
And like you said, the money will solve itself, man.
the money is secondary. I mean, we're here to be happy. So you find your happiness regardless of the amount of money in the bank. It's worth living. We need to backtrack and not make it about the materialism, the financials, all that stuff. It's about humanity. It's about the connection. It's about the moment. It's about we're here right now. You and I, and it's evolving and growing and making sure that we change the community for a positive reason, one person at a time.
I like that.
There's more power in the light. The thing is that too many people are mentally brainwashed to be negative. That's why there's a lot of haters, a lot of naysayers, but it's okay because eventually they'll transition to the light and they're gonna feel so much better.
I like that.
Peace and love, peace and love.
So, in your 28 years of running your business, you give a how do you say it?
Yerberia.
Yerberia.
Mm-hmm.
Herbal
store. It's a
herbal store. Would you say it's been a journey? Like your ups and downs?
Yeah.
What experience would you like to share, if I may ask? Let's say there's somebody out there who, wants to start their own endeavor. Not just in a spiritual shop or a nerve shop, but like in any business. What would you say? What would be your piece of advice? Like in your 28 years of experience?
Well, do what's passionate for you. Like, all I thought in my life was to be a teacher, right? But because of certain reasons, I ended up in the Yerberia because at that point when I was going, looking for a teaching position, I wasn't able to get it. So I failed at teaching. It was like, no. I wasn't able to get hired. You don't understand how many agents I submitted. So there was an opportunity, and I was like, you know what, let me try it out. Let's see. So the spirit guides you, so you don't have to worry about if you're so determined to do something and it doesn't happen, it's because they're redirecting you to another place. So don't be so overwhelmed or fearful that it's not happening for you. Because that was my passion. It didn't happen. I could have already been like 28 years in the school district, right? like close to retiring.
Sure, straight up.
Right, I could have been it,
Nice,
or I could have been
TRS.
yeah, or I could have been a librarian. You just don't know what I could have done.
Yes.
So I ended up there at the Avidia. You know, there was an opportunity. I invested in it. I tried, and then eventually I realized one day after doing. First, I started like a business, like okay, these two. But then one day I realized, like, wait a minute, this is my teaching. You know, this is where I teach people what the herbs are for. And in the beginning, I was very clueless, but the community taught me. Because back when I started, you know, several years ago, there was no Google. There's no Google. You know, so I couldn't do a Google search to find out. No AI, nothing. So the people that taught me what the herbs were for were the elders of the community.
Wow.
You know, so the elders would come and they would tell me like, hey, well, this is herbs for this, and I have a vast variety of herbs because I invested, so I can find out, you know. So I was learning as I was going, and then whatever they teach to me, I would teach to somebody else, and it was a give and take, give and take, give and take. And that's why, you know, now I know so much of everything. And then also my spirit guide, because I do a lot of stuff, a lot of healing that I didn't learn in a book. I just went with what the spirit told me. So I started doing it. And then now that there's AI and stuff like that, you know, I have come across things on different sites where I'm like, oh my goodness, that's what I do. What they're saying there, I didn't, you know, get taught to do it. I just did it. I went with the flow, used my energy to heal. And well, it's called Reiki or Reiki. You know, so basically I do a form of that, but in my version of doing it, and it helps heal and it redirects the energy, and that's what the cleansings are. And you know, all of this evolves, and you know, people are starting to feel better, and it's to share it, and it's to help the community. Like the main focus is to help the community heal, because if we don't help each other, then we ourselves are destined to do.
I like that. Wow. I never thought about that. Like, and if we don't do that, man, we are destined to do, man. Wow. That's actually something to ponder about right there. So elders taught you about the herbs. Elders, I like that. I hear the word elder and I think like wisdom.
Yeah.
I think like Indians. I don't know why I think that. Like Native Americans, shall I say. But were they like elders like in our culture, like as Hispanics elders?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, here. It's because you don't understand what we have in our backyard. You don't understand. We have a lot of very wise people in our backyard. The thing is that we don't give ourselves the time or space to actually talk to people. We're always on the phone, busy. So we don't stop. So that's why I love what I do, because everybody goes to my business and I make sure I talk to people, because you just don't know.
Yes.
You know, people are, you know, everybody has a little bit of knowledge, and you just never know what direction things are gonna go to. I mean, that's how I met you, and look at where we're at.
Yes.
It's meant to be.
Yes,
You know?
I like that.
Things happen.
And so, and then you also talked about like intuition, like how you just listen to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
How does one listen to the intuition? Okay, so like, I know they call it like being in tune, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cause I mean, there's been instances where that does happen to me, like where it's like I can feel something calling me, and I'll just drive off, and then sure enough, I'll meet someone, or or like I'm thinking about someone, and they call me. It's like, whoa, like okay, that can't be like, right? Like that's a connection, right?
Yeah.
That's some type of connection there. And what would you say for someone, or how would you advise someone to listen to their intuition?
Well, first of all, you need to shut down. You need to shut it down. So yes, you need to learn to meditate, like to actually just put the screen in black, you know, and shut it down. You know, like when you turn on TV, you know, that there's nothing going on. Shut it down. And I mean, it's gonna take you a while, because we're so used to go. Like, you know, there's like a million thoughts at once going in your head. So all of that is corruption of the brain, the mind. So you have to find something that you love or passionate about, that you like to do as a hobby, you know, like either walking, dancing, jumping, running, whatever it is, something that's gonna, that once you're doing that, you disconnect from everything, and then all of a sudden, you're so invested in what you're doing that, you're listening to your inner voice. And your little inner voice is your little spirit that's been there forever. We just shut it down, and we're like, going based on fear, anxiety, pressure. We have to do this, we have to do that, run, like
Yes.
all that stuff. So all of that stuff doesn't let you, shut down, so that you can let your little spirit, and once your little spirit is guiding you to where you're supposed to be and how you're supposed to do things, like everything else flourishes.
I like that. Don't go against it.
Yeah.
In a sense. Now, you talked about like hearing this inner voice, right? In most cases, people like sometimes with me, I have this like inner voice like that like kind of makes me want to like not do anything. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, don't do that, dude. You're not gonna do it, man. Like you can't do it. What would you say that inner voice is?
That's the voice of depression.
Okay.
You're gonna have your depression side. I mean, you've seen it, and it does exist. It's like the little white angel and the little devil.
Yeah, the side by side consciousness, right?
Yes.
Or
Yeah. So it's up to you to decide what direction you're gonna go. So with that, we go back to the 7 virtues. If you try to do the 7 virtues on a daily basis, your life is gonna change drastically. Because the 7 virtues is just a little code of how we as a society to become better humans, how to be able to interact with people, which is humble, being very humble, because the opposite is always what? Like the corruption of the world is what? Pride. Pride is division, pride is sickness, pride is fear, it's war. So pride, once we acknowledge our prideful ways and start making a conscious recognition, and you start switching it to being humble, that's a big start. If we all made an initiative to be humble, the world would be very different.
I always say, I tie what you say on a saying that I go by, and it's at any given moment, God can take everything that you've worked so hard to get. At any given moment, you can lose it all.
Mm-hmm.
It can happen. I mean, it's a possibility that today you're on top of the world, with, all the money you wish to have, and then the very next day you lose it all, right? And a lot of people tend to forget the fact that I do believe that it's a blessing from a divine. I do believe that no matter where it is that you get to, or no matter where it is that you are in life, you are favored by something. That's one of my beliefs. I do believe that. And I think being humble is a testament to just being grateful and understanding that you can have everything stripped away from you.
Well, like right now, currently, a very good example of that is P. Diddy. Everybody, right now, he's trending and everybody's listening about his situation. Where is he now?
Oh, P. Diddy? Yeah.
Where is he? In jail.
In jail.
Why? Because his pride was so big, and
he thought he was never going to get caught, never get put away for all this stuff. I hear that he had I don't know how many pounds or bottles of baby oil. All that is happening.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's an example of pride for you right now.
Yeah, that's true.
But there's just so many more people like that.
It's true. And you know what? The truth will be revealed. I 100% believe it. Do you believe that the truth will set you free? Do you believe that?
And the more... Well, one of the things that I've been hearing a lot from this younger generation, because, I was so used to dealing with the older generation, but the older generation unfortunately, are not around anymore. So now I have different type of generation coming in, which is like the new people that are relearning the mystical, the light. They're looking for a new way of doing things because they're acknowledging now with this woke movement they're acknowledging that yes, the system is corrupted. The system, this is not the right way to live. There's too much stress. There's too much pressure in every direction that you go. Laws upon laws about bureaucracy and what? Like everybody's taking advantage of all this stuff, and everybody's benefiting their way. You know, like the legal system is a big element of corruption that, unfortunately, the masses, the community, us here on the bottom, are not able to fight.
Yeah.
You know, because we're not connected, we don't have the finances, we don't have the know-hows. I mean, and who's taking advantage of all that? It's like all the people that were privileged enough to be on the top, whose egos are very prideful, and then you can go and try to hire one of these people, you know, and give up your life savings, and at the end of the day, it's up to them if they really want to help you or not, you know. And if you go to the person, the wrong person, that probably is like, you know what, whatever, like, you know, whatever, they're gonna get whatever, and then they decide not to help you out. I mean, that's a very big system that is so corrupted, and that's why there's a lot of people that are in the system serving for no reason other than people do not want to do the due diligence, you know, because if there was already a system in place, but the people that are taking care of the system are not doing their job and actually, you know, bringing justice to people. A lot of people are seeing this, a lot of people are upset, a lot of people are disappointed. So now the movement is people want to find the reality, the actual way that we used to be, where life was a lot simpler. There wasn't all this bureaucracy, all these excessive. Where are all these rules? It's because people do not respect other people's life. They don't stick to the, you know, to the 7 virtues, and people take advantage of people all the time.
But what is bureaucracy? What is that?
All the paperwork, all the laws. Like, for example, you cannot just go, we do yard sales in my business. It's such a simple concept, okay? You offer the place for someone to do yard sale. Oh no, the city wants you to go submit paperwork, pay money, you know, get it approved. All of that is bureaucracy. It takes time. It's all paperwork, extra money, you know, and they keep you in the system when it's such a simple concept. It's your property, you can sell whatever you want. No. This code, this is like, why is it so difficult? Why is everything so difficult? You know, like you cannot rent a place. There's like 10 pages you have to sign, so many things that have to go through. You know, it's
Probably they just want money, man.
Yeah.
That's what it is. They just want money, you know.
So now this woke movement wants to start being self-sufficient, away from the community. But the thing is that if we are able to become united in the community, we're going to be able to overcome more and do more and help out more.
Yeah.
And achieve more. And nobody can be absolutely by themselves, because then you could have found your own plan.
Yeah.
So we have to do what we can with what we got. But the more we heal people, the better it's going to get. So we have to keep the light going.
And you were talking about judicial system. Mm-hmm. You were just talking about that.
Yeah.
And you have a nonprofit, right?
Yes, we started a nonprofit organization. The founder is my son, Eddie. He was the one that founded it because he's a person that is very determined to help people. He's just wired differently. He loves to help out people. Like, it's in his nature to anybody that needs any type of assistance, any type of help. So we went with that, and we're really establishing it. We're really very starting to develop it. And the number one thing is to advocate for people that are wrongly accused, that are trying to find justice, and that cannot afford it. At least we're trying to see we can try to get, you know, attorneys that want to work pro bono, or people that have certain knowledge, even if there's people that do know how to be very persuasive in writing, like strong writers, because we ourselves can do a certain amount of legal work just by really knowing how to phrase things or be persuasive through our writing. This is a path that the Spirit wants me to go down, because I do see a lot of legal abuse, because I'm only a couple of blocks away from the courthouse. So a lot of people come by and tell me their stories. which I have so many stories. So I'm like, you know what? I think the spirit was like, one day it's like, you know what, Mimi, I think it's time for you to go into the law. Start learning so you can be able to defend people, because it's just devastating how people's lives are ruined because we don't have the financials, we don't have the knowledge, and whenever something happens, everybody gets scared. Nobody wants to talk about anything, and it's the opposite. Once something happens, you need to talk about it, 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 because hopefully that way somebody will be able to tell you, like, you know what, do this, do that, go here, go there. You know, this is the way you're going to be able to beat the system or whatever. But if we get scared, we don't want to talk about it, we don't want anybody to know, because that's the stigma they put in you. You know, they put that fear in you, like, be quiet, don't say anything. You know, whenever it's your court date, we'll resolve it there. But then there's a lot of things in play, like, what if the judge wasn't, not having it that day? What if your lawyer wasn't feeling it either? Like, and then you're here, you don't know what to say, and your attorney says, don't say anything, don't talk. You have the right to talk and defend yourself. You have to speak, and most of us don't. So that's why it's like, you know what? If you see me in the courthouse, I'll be there in the courthouse, going to the courthouse praying, so I can see how the system works. So if you see me there, like, hey, me, you know what? I'm concerned. I'll be there, I'll pray for you, and if I have some type of idea at that moment, or the spirit inspires me and I can tell you something, let's figure it out, So you don't feel like you're going under by yourself. Like, we're gonna be there.
And that's what Angels of Advocacy stand for.
Yes, so we can advocate for anybody and everyone that needs it, even for pets, like Paws for Help. We want to also help them advocate so they can relocate the little puppies that don't have a home. We have to help everybody. Like, little animals have hearts too. I know, because I have a doggy. I have a doggy.
Was it the American Bulldog the other day?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I went there. I saw him.
Yeah.
He's a big dog.
Yeah, but he's very mellow.
Very childlike dog though,
Yeah.
man. You could tell.
Very loving.
What's his name again? The dog.
Petey.
Petey. There you go.
Petey.
Aw. Petey, the American Bulldog. But man, that's awesome. The Angels of Advocacy and the way you're looking at that.
We're gonna start it, open it up, build it with your help, of course. Yes.
And yes, ma'am, we will get it.
Whoop, whoop, whoop,
I
whoop.
wanted to talk about on Thursdays. What do you do on Thursdays? Because I know you do a visual, right? Is what you call it?
Oh, no, every 2 weeks we're doing a vigil, and what we're trying to do is trying to bring the community together. If we don't voice our fears and we don't get together as a community, we're doomed to fail. We have to come together as a community, because we just don't know who knows who or what's happening. And the more people come together, the more we're gonna find out, hey, you know what, if you go to that judge, you're gonna have to behave this way or that way or whatever. Like, we need to know how the judges work, or whoever has had experiences or past situations, so we can be able together figure out the system so we can beat the system. Beat the system. That's the only way we're gonna be able to get our liberties back.
I like that. That's
It's
cool.
not gonna happen if we don't come together.
True.
So it's a slow train that's starting to take off.
Through that system in itself, what you're talking about, I believe there probably is a good amount of people that have been wrongfully.
Too many.
Yeah, wrongfully accused. And thing is that our system, they get paid for that, man. They get paid for you to be in jail. They get a check for you to sit down there in a cell and become institutionalized, is what they call it, right?
That's why accountability, and that's where the 7 virtues come in, because one of the 7 virtues is hard work, diligence. Like, you have to do your work, and people are just pushing forward the paperwork. They don't want to do it. For example, if you have a case and you go to the investigators, they just want you, instead of them actually investigating the issue, the problem, so that you can, be liberated, what they do is like, you know what? I don't want to deal with it. I'm just gonna get a warrant. You're gonna be arrested, and you can deal with the court. So you could have resolved the issue right there, right? But no, you want to put this person through hell, because more than likely they're not gonna have the money. They're not gonna be able to defend themselves, and they're gonna give them a very raw deal. And then if you go to a jury trial, if that's even possible, because most attorneys don't want to do that, what are the odds? I mean, would the jury, your attorney would be like actually prepared for it? Would the jury actually be unbiased? You know, there's a lot of factors, and the thing is that things that could be prevented are not, because people don't want to do their due diligence. They don't want to do their work. They don't want to actually do what has to be done to figure things out. So that's one of the things, and I love the fact that now there's cameras. So people are like bringing their prideful ways down, because now the cameras are making people accountable of certain, ways of acting. But I think we have to do more. The only way we can do is by us as the community, because there's more people in the community than there is people in power. And we come together, more people talk, more people voice out what has happened to them. And the more we find out, hey, you know what, this is not random. There's like 40, 50 people that have the same allegations. It's not random. Something's happening here. Like, we need to find the patterns, figure it out, and maybe together we can make sure that the people on top can see, like, hey, there's no way that there's 40 people going through the same thing. So all these 40 people, either you address the situation so you can let all these people go, or one way or another, you can do a lawsuit together so you can be heard, because that's the only way they're gonna move. That's the way you bring awareness. But we can't do it with one or two people, because that's not a pattern. The more people come together, that's a pattern. That's how we're gonna find out who is doing what in the system. And there's a lot of us.
I like that. Like networking is what you would call it, right?
Yeah, but we need to be in person so we can be able to find out. Because details.
Yeah.
When it comes to the law, it's in the details.
Yeah.
So that's something that I think we're able to resolve once we all come together. And plus, the more people come together, we sign up or whatever, and let them know, look, I have 500 people. These are 500 people who are willing to vote for you if you listen to them. They'll listen. But what if we can, how many people are in Edinburgh?
A lot, maybe like 20,000, maybe a little bit more.
No, I think there's more, maybe 60,000, because
60,000?
we have 4 high schools.
Shoot,
So
man.
it has to be, we have to be in the high thousands.
Yeah, like 60, then, yeah.
Well, I don't know exactly the population, but can you imagine
That is
if
true, we do have 4 high schools.
we do have 4 high schools. So that means we're a big area. So can you imagine if we were to have at least...
And we just got sorry I didn't cut you off, we just got a new high school right here on Freddie, the early college high school that they just opened up.
Well, I helped in I helped in a campaign for an election. So the active voters, to get this person there, in between the one that was elected and the one that lost, the active voters were total at 8,000. At 8,000 active voters in a place where there's more, there has to be more than 60,000.
Only 8,000 active from 60?
Okay, in this campaign.
No
So
way.
basically nobody goes to vote. But if we were to able to get hey, we have 5,000 active people waiting to go in whatever direction we say, we're gonna get them right here, right now. We're like, hey, you know what, so-and-so, we have a situation with so-and-so, can you come over here? And they're like, well, we have 5,000 backing us up. I'll be there right now. That's how it works, because they're gonna want those 5,000 votes, because those 5,000 votes can get you your election.
Can win the election,
Yes.
yeah.
You can win the election right there.
I like that.
But that's the only way we're gonna be able to figure it out. There's power in the masses, because the people up here are very few. There's one there. There's one mayor who's running, I think, next year. There's one mayor, and then the city council, which are the people here. But our goal is to get to the congressmen, the senators, possibly the governor. Why not? Why not? Dream big.
Go big, go home. I like that.
But it's 1% at a time.
Yes.
1% at a time. So we're barely have 4 or 5 people, but that's okay. 4 or 5 people will turn into thousands eventually.
Well, this is why we're doing the podcast. This is why we're here recording, so we can get the word out and let the people know. But nonetheless, Miss Minnie, it was awesome having you a part of this episode.
Well, I would say amazing.
It was amazing. It was amazing
Listen,
having you, Miss Minnie, here. You have a lot to say, and I would love to have you for another episode some other time as well.
Whenever you guys, or whenever.
Yes,
You-
we need to
you
do
want
our
me
own
here.
too
I know,
for you.
we
right?
are.
Yes.
We are. The podcast is in the makings, and it's to advocate for people, and we want to hear everybody's life story. I mean, because everybody goes through stuff, through depressions, anxieties, doubts,
Fear, in general.
and talking about it. Like I said, you're voicing your fears and whatnot, and then it'll release all that heaviness, so you can become the person that you want to be, and that leave that behind.
I love that.
Become illuminated.
I love that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Miss Minnie. Anything else you want to say before we end the podcast?
I think that you are going to have an amazing career because at least you're becoming self-aware of yourself and you're becoming accountable. So he's one of the few people that I have come across that is becoming very accountable for his work ethic. So guys, strongly recommend.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, man.
It's a pleasure.
It was a pleasure.
Like always.
Like always. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Take care.
Woo!